first one. Yeah. What's the paper? Is it around?
It's right here.
This is the last one, and I think this the last one will be more interesting. Okay, okay, so here the role and function of ethics, Buddhist and Theravada traditions. You want to say something?
I was working on language screen responses, so I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. All right. So here I want to talk more about ethics. Buddhist in Theravada tradition mainly are the lay people in the United States, in the West. I will show you some of the beliefs. So again, what is the function and what is the role? Before I show you the clip, what are the roles of the lay Buddhist people? What's the number? 17. So what are the roles of the lay Buddhist people? That we go over, we went over. We've gone over before. What are the roles of lay people in the Theravada traditions? About that, what are their roles?
So you take care of the monks,
Okay.
the temple, and supply them with the things that they need.
And in the same time, they come to temple unless they get to hear the teaching, right? There's two-way support. Anyone? Usually, if you visit Thailand, Burma, and so forth, they don't do meditation much. They just do the what they call dana donation and support. They say support the sangha, and that's why in the morning you see that in the morning some of them not all they light up on the street to offer the food to the monks. And in the West too, this is similar in similar way. But now they still working on practice. Actually, as I could take you to some Buddhist center here, but somehow time constraint, I could not. I part of some temple, but I could not make that arrangement. Sorry for that. At the beginning, I thought I would review, but I could not. It's too late now. So for the next class, we will take them for 4 trips. Okay, so probably you learn some when you wrote your oh no next class. I mean not this one. No. My hybrid class. I will take them to 4 Buddhist centers. I just see them only a few times per semester, but every day. That's why I set up hybrid one, online and face-to-face. Okay, so some of you went to the Theravada temple, right? Some of you, did you go to see? No. Who went to the I read some paper. And again, so don't be surprised, okay? Don't be surprised when you see monks consume meat, okay? When you go there in the future. Let me show you again. This is the rule that they keep up even in this country too. You see what they're doing? They light up, put hold the food and offer to the monks there. And for the Theravada Buddhist people, most of the time, if you go to the temple, you see, when you went to my temple, you see how they dress. They wear the dress is different from here. Most of the time they wear the white one. Why? You know why?
A sign of purity?
Yes, purity. How about when you went to my temple, you saw Buddhist people who wear the what do you call it? It's the light blue, right? White. You don't know. This is in the way that it's not bright color. Not bright color, but this is more simple color that represents simple life. Yeah. You see like that, that's where they walk around and offer the food there. And remember, the Ramons, they're not supposed to cook at the temple. They're not supposed even to keep the leftover food overnight too. But some of them, if they sell out certain area that don't have legislative support, so they keep the food for themselves. See that? This is type bowl, yes.
Is it all rice?
No, they put some rice, some food there.
So they're just mixing all of it together?
I don't know.
What if one of them they all had something different, and it would taste weird?
I went to Thailand and somehow they put food in the plastic. The rice in one plastic bags, like zip bag.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So each food they put there. The rice.
Portion of it mixing.
Yeah, I don't know about them. They put.
They only eat what, twice a day?
Huh?
They only eat once a day? Once a day?
Once.
I don't think it matters.
You see the big one?
Mix it,
You
yeah.
see the big bowl there? That's aluminum bowl. You won't break it. Big one. Right, so
All right.
and one thing I want to show you about the this one. Okay, this is what you call the 10 days. If you have the time, then have chance in the future. Yeah, you attend this 10-day retreat and you feel.
For the duration of the 10 days, students vow to abstain from killing, from stealing, from sexual misconduct, from lying, and from using any intoxicants. Next comes the practice of concentration, or mastery over the mind. In Anapana, students observe their own respiration. They work at focusing their attention on the breath as it enters and leaves the nostrils. As students practice the technique, they experience the turbulent and nearly uncontrollable activity of their own mind. Thoughts, memories, emotions, reveries, even songs arise to overwhelm one's attention. Little by little, the student learns to focus their attention and master the wildness of their own mind. Finally, they will use their heightened concentration to develop insight into their own nature. As they sit quietly, students practice objectively observing the changing flow of sensations, whether pleasant or unpleasant, that arise in the mind. They begin to understand the origin of their thoughts and behaviors at a deeper level, beyond the intellectual realm of ideas and concepts, at the experiential level. Gradually, they develop detachment toward the compulsive cravings and aversions which control them. This is the beginning of self-knowledge, or wisdom.
Okay, anyway, so I hope that after this class, and if you have a chance, you can attend some of the meditation retreat. 1 day, 2 days, or even 10 days. It's up to you, and it's up to your skill. Anyone come? Somebody come late? I miss anyone? Alright. So the one who just came late again. Where's the patient? Yeah, can you pass? So this Thursday, this is 28. I skipped 27. Alright. This is the last paper you need to write, and on Monday we have presentation. So will you do this Thursday or not?
No, I moved my appointment for you, so I will be here on
good.
Tuesday. Tuesday.
Wait, so it's on Tuesday?
Yes.
On
He
Tuesday?
keeps saying Monday, but he
Tuesday,
means Tuesday.
sorry.
If it's Tuesday at 1, right?
Yeah, Tuesday, sorry, I messed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tuesday the
Tuesday.
second.
Yeah,
And our
so,
own class.
At regular class time?
Yep.
yeah, regular class
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
So we have, again, how many of you now? One, can you raise your hand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 5 people I think you can handle. Alright, so next Tuesday will be the last class. Alright, so you count, again, so I count for the attendance, okay? And please remember, by next Monday, May 1st, please send me all of the written response. And between May 2nd and May 4th, send me the final paper. And whoever send me first the final paper, I should give you some feedback, right, so that we can make corrections. Okay. After that, I will not have much time to give you feedback. Okay. So I hope you can handle your test anxiety during this week and next, right?
I hope so too.
Uh,
It will take a lot of mindfulness to get
I
through
know,
it.
I know. That's why from beginning of the semester, I told you, you need to make the schedule.
I've been slacking. I've been procrastinating, I admit it. I've been procrastinating.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
I'm not
to
very
handle.
interesting. I'm not.
So some of you take some kind of motivatory test too, is that right? Oh, okay, it's more stressful, right? When you make mistake, we screw up your score, right? That's why I don't want to. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Children, is that children or
Children.
children? All right, up to now.
Any of this is fine. I've been home.
Children.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you say about convert Buddhists in the Arab revolutions? What their role?
So what I read was that they have, they're really focused on earning merit by aiding the Sangha or the monastery, and also reaching like personal enlightenment, or like the two big things. So you can obviously provide alms to the monks, or contributions like food and money, providing labor to earn merit, and then also like men can become monks or work for the temple as temple servants, become novices. Those are the ways that converts can do it. With like usually older women, they don't like to deal with younger women, but older women can become nuns, and they can sponsor monks, or like sign up to provide food for like an entire meal for a day, almost like a sign-up genius type thing. And children also have expectations as converts, like they work in like community gardens and like look after like trees and things that would benefit the monks. But they said that although supporting the same cause is important, it's not the only way they can earn merit. They have to participate in hearing the text, and they also have to understand there's no divine revelation contained within them, and it's their own personal responsibility once you convert to Arabic tradition to seek your own personal enlightenment.
So do you see any difference between the ethnic Buddhists and convert Buddhists? Any difference between these two groups?
Do I see a difference? I mean, it seems very, like if you convert, they have those strong conservative expectations of you to not only support the Sangha, but almost like become a part of it. Like that's like their whole foundation. Versus, I mean, based on what you showed us, it was, did they do that all the time where they come out with the bowls of rice, or is that like a special occasion?
It's special.
So it seems like the ethnic is every once in a while, and then if you convert, it's like they won't be all the time.
Let's say all around.
Oh, other way around? Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, for the ethnic people, some of them even they put heavy robes. I mean that they could be monks for a while, but not for a convert one.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not like a year.
It's still rare for them
Yeah.
to become a Buddhist monks. Why? Why they don't want to to enjoy the Sangha, the monastic communities, like the ethnic one. Why?
Well, it's hard, it's very
It's
strict.
hard, and what else? A lot of restrictions, rules, and what else? What else? And remember one thing is, before we end this semester, one thing I want to emphasize is that for the ethnic people, and for ethnic Buddhists, the Buddhist people in the Asia, like Burma, Thailand, and so forth, even in Mahayana tradition too, we aim for to go off. To go off what? What the goal? What the goal for?
Nirvana?
Yeah,
Nirvana?
in Nirvana, yeah. Okay. Nirvana, that's the goal. Get out of the birth cycle, right? Like that's traditional, that conservative goal, right? How about the convert people? They don't care much. They don't care much what most of the time, according to my knowledge, according to the research and so forth, they don't care much about attaining nirvana or get out of the birth cycle. What they want to do? Peace of mind, that's all. Peace, calmness. That's American way of life. Is that right? In the religious way. That's why. That's why we don't need to become Buddhist monk. This is no big deal for them. You understand that?
Yeah, because I thought the question when I researched it was like if you convert to Theravada Buddhist, not that it was like a specific proper name. Like you understand what I'm saying? But I understand what you're saying now. There are two different groups of Theravada Buddhists underneath. One is ethnic and one is
That's why for me, it's many years. When I first had a temple in Indiana and Kentucky, I tried to merge two groups together. No, it didn't work. You have to separate because the mentality is quite different. One is to get out of the birth cycle because especially our Vietnamese people, in my generation, we have gone through all kinds of stuff in the war, the conflicts, even now too, the war is still there. That's why we see life is impermanence, life solutions. But for American people, no. Everything is real. So only thing they want to have is peace, calmness. That's all. So they don't need to be monks and not much. Some of them want to do what is theory. That's why if you resist more of the Zen tradition of Vipassana Center that's established by the American people, American followers or convert people, most of them run by lay people. So we show you this is one of the famous one. If you go to California, it's been for a while. It's been for many years. What they call Spirit Rock. It's run by the
Spirit Rock is this beautiful valley, and over 20 years, this community has blossomed.
And he was
so
former monk.
this place for all kinds of people to come back to and remember their heart, remember compassion, remember that they can be free.
It's a refuge. It's a place for people who have busy, engaged lives to come, take some time out, and to reconnect with themselves.
Not only does it have a retreat center that focuses on deep, long-term, silent retreat practice, but it also has this community center that's really about how do we integrate Dharma into our lives? How do we actually live this stuff in our relationships, our families, our work, just day-to-day lives?
Spirit Rock is a training ground to develop the quality of equanimity, which is a mind that can be okay and balanced no matter what's happening in life. So no matter if you win the lottery or lose everything, you can still have peace and joy that is not dependent upon conditions.
The classes and pretty much everything in Spirit Rock is very experiential, it's very hands-on. So although we'll give some techniques and some overview, some context, It's really about a direct experience.
We are a community of lay practitioners. Most people here have families, children, mortgages. We share the lifestyle of the people that come here for teachings.
The teachers are very tuned into each individual and really try to offer.
You see that here? So most of the American convert Buddhists are run by lay Buddhists. And even they translate the three refuge in high precept, not the monks, not the nuns. But for the atheists, for Chinese, Vietnamese, so for most or all times, they say that we do that ceremony, the three refuges of high precept. But for lay people, it's different. And I had first-hand experience with the groups in Evansville, in Indiana. There's just small group of the rabbi people. So that lady somehow she has a kind of certificate, whichever, I don't know, to ordain her. But she has that authority to transmit the three refuges of high precept. Because in her idea, remember at the beginning I told you, the three refuges, the Buddha, right? Dharma, and Sangha. It's really important for you to understand, otherwise you mess up. In the conservative, of course, everyone, if you are Buddhist, everyone follow Buddha, Dharma, it's no question. But in conservative tradition, Sangha, most of the time we talk about monastic communities, monks and nuns. In conservative, in ignorant or atheist Buddhist communities. But in America and in the West, they call Sangha is included the lay people too. This is because it's not many monks and nuns in this monastic orders, whether it's the Theravada, Mahayana. So you have to understand the difference. So don't be surprised when you go to this kind of center and you see they go up there and give the lecture instead of monks or nuns. But in Vietnamese or Chinese or whichever temples, immigrant ethnic temple, it's still rare to see lay people to come up and give the lecture. See the big difference, right? Because of this idea. One is, yes, you have to be monks and nuns in order to achieve nirvana, and you recognize life's impermanent and so forth. But here, not much important. I just want to have peace. And plus, in the idea of equalities, understand that? No, in this no hierarchy, especially in the West, in the West, the world community. So, recognize this. All right, let's just move on here. And that's growing. This type group is growing. All right, so next one, Newton, in here. Want to say something about about Buddhist in Mahayana tradition? Do you have something to say?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm answering this correctly in terms of roles and functions. But so I based my answer off of an article that was done in Australia of trying to assimilate Buddhism into there, and a lot of history was given of the different ethnicities that try to assimilate Buddhism. The different ethnicities that try to assimilate Buddhism into Australia, and a lot of ethnicities had difficulty in the beginnings because of racial prejudice or religious discrimination, things like that. Because most of Australia is some form of Christianity. I'm just not sure how to elaborate on the roles and functions other than the fact that all the different ethnics had to really slowly build their way into different countries, for example, because the fanaticism of different religions.
See, I'm feeling you because ethnic and convert wasn't capitalized, I didn't know it was like a specific subsect of the Rabida what it was looking for. So when I answered it, I looked at it as like ethnic groups or people who convert to. So I think that's where we got lost on this one.
Right, here remember one thing I want to mention again. In the Rabida traditions, Sangha is the focus point. Without Sangha, without Buddhist monastic communities, there's just no Rabida traditions. That's why they follow is conservative traditions. Of course, in this country it's different. Like I just showed you the clips, right? It's in opposite way, right? The lay people run their own center, especially for the American people. But for the Mahayana traditions, it's a bit different. It's more liberal. It's more open. That's Sangha still considered as the focus point of the communities too. But still, there's some lay people. They have some roles there. They even within my own Vietnamese Buddhist community in this country, there's many temples that's run by lay people. But most of the time they invite monks and nuns to come and do the ceremonies, teaching and so forth. And so again, in Mahayana tradition, this is more liberal, and they're more active in the tradition, especially for some lay people. Even here in Houston, they have their own groups. They start their own groups. Even they turn their house as a small chapel, a small meditation hall, so that they could invite monks and nuns all can start together. But in the tradition, there's no way. You understand the difference, right? So this is more liberal. Let me. Why do you want to say something?
I haven't gotten to that topic yet.
Okay. Have you been? You done your field trip yet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. Is the first temple that you went to, or you went some other temple before?
I went to, my parents really just go to the one with the big one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So and even yes, for the Buddhist communities, even with my Vietnamese Buddhist communities, most of the time, the temple were run by monks, nuns, and so forth, but with the support financially from the lay people. And sometimes even they don't have the power, but they have what we call hidden power. You understand that? Because they are the one who support the monks and nuns to run that temple, especially the larger temples, the more headache they have. It's not easy. It's not easy to run the temple. There's all kind of bills you have to pay. Utility bills, mortgage, and so forth. This is a lot of headaches. So they have to rely upon some lay people, and some of your parents here, they are supporter of the temples. It's require a lot of support. Let me okay, so let's see. Okay, let me skip this one that we show later. How about Laura? You want to say about this one? Convert with this define it in news. Here, one thing I want to mention too, so that after this class, you read more of these books, information, literature, and so forth. You recognize that's why. One of the reasons why Thich is so successful to draw Westerners into Buddhism, because he doesn't speak much about Nirvana. He doesn't speak much about the suffering of life, a cycle of life. He talked about this one. And of course, for the Vietnamese or Chinese Buddhist monks, and most of the time we emphasize on this because we have gone through all kinds of problems back in Vietnam or wherever. We've gone through this kind of conflicts. So that's why they don't have any inspiration to get out of the cycle. So you just want to have peace, like you just want to have a peaceful mind to handle your task. That's all. You don't want to run away. It's just more practical. Okay. All right. Let me show you short clips about the Zen Center that's run by American people.
Up to Fox 9 Mornings.
And glad you are on this Monday. Science has finally proven what many of us have known for thousands of years. Meditating has some real health benefits.
Emmett Roscoe visits the Minnesota Zen Meditation Centers by Lake Calhoun to pick up a few tips on how to get started practicing mindful meditation.
I have walked by the Minnesota Zen Center at 3343 East Calhoun Parkway literally hundreds of times, but I've never been inside. Maybe I'm just a little bit intimidated about meditating, but I've heard so many new studies about how good it is for you. I think it's time to check it out. 3 tones of the bell signals the start of meditation here, and as you can see, everybody is very mindful in this room. The fact that there's a TV camera is of no importance to them. I am joined by Ben Connolly, one of the teachers here at the Zen Meditation Center. We've heard so much, in fact, new studies have come out and said how good meditating is for us, for our mind, body. But nobody tells you how to do it. I figured this would be the perfect place to come. So it turns out the first thing you need is what?
Well, the best thing to do is find a posture that's comfortable and supportive to do your meditation practice. You can see people here in a very upright position, but they look very relaxed.
So you find a posture that's comfortable for you. Okay, what's the second thing you need to do?
Well, then we focus attention on the breath, so drawing our attention into the sensations of breathing in the body and any other sensations that exist in the body. So it's not really an activity that's principally about mind, it's about knowing what your body is like right now.
So just paying attention to your breath. When I have tried to do this, I sit on the mat and I start thinking, my mind starts running. Geez, I'm really hungry, what's for dinner? Did I put money in the meter? Gosh, my pants feel kind of tight. Have I done what do you do when your mind just keeps going on its hamster wheel?
Well, what I acknowledge is that I'm human.
Okay.
So this is the basic way human consciousness functions. So our practice really isn't about eliminating that. It's about just knowing that it's happening. And when we know we're not attending to the breath, we just come back to the breath. So we don't judge the mind, we don't try and push it away or focus on controlling it. But when we notice we're not seeing the breathing, we just come back to the breath. And so it's a soft, kind approach to interacting with the way our mind.
Okay, you see that? So this is the teacher there. Lay people is the teacher. Here, probably again, this class and the last, this Thursday will be the last class that I talk to you. But I want to emphasize some important things. In the school, business and so on, we have what we call anger management, right? Anger management, right? We have to deal with anger everywhere, right? But there's no way for you to hear what we call craving management. Have you heard about this? No. You understand what I'm saying? Most of we emphasize anger, but what happened with craving? Remember that lady say, "Oh, happened to us any moment of our life." Anger and craving, especially in Buddhist tradition, all right, they say that that's just poison the mind. That's the cause of the mind. The cause is the suffering. So when we have so much burden, yeah, we suffer. When we have so much anger, yes, perhaps we suffer. You see, but most of the time we just emphasize, in the West, we emphasize on this anger management quality. So that's why one aspect that you don't hear in the West, because they just want to have a peace of mind, that's all. So that's why when you understand much about Buddhism, you need to take care of these two, because they are two sides of the coin. The more you crave, the more anger you have. Is that right? The more you love someone, if they don't love you, what happens? You hate that person. Is that right? And if you want to be promoted, but you could be angry. If you want to get good grade, but you, right? If you want to get good grade, whichever, but you could, anger will pop up. So there's two sides of the coin. In order to understand the Buddhist view and the good practice or approach, you need to recognize this too. Also in the West, they don't talk about this much. So remember that, okay? Alright, so let's move on then. Okay, number 5. You want to say something about number 5?
I didn't do this one. I just have one left to do, so I decided to do 20.
Okay.
So I'm doing for the next one. But this one I didn't do.
Okay. Let me show you this subject here. And they have this one. This is related to again. This is one for Vajrayana Center.
That was the Sangha courtyard, through a quietening process into a Dharma courtyard with the stupas, which is behind me, which was more a place of reflection, but also contemplation on impermanence, on the truth of change, and then into the heart of Buddhist practice, which is the Buddha himself, his enlightened state.
One of the most important things about the creation of this place, it's not merely a set of buildings and images and so forth. It's been an interweaving of the energies of a great many people who've worked together cooperatively to create this place. It doesn't stop here. The retreat centre is not finished. In a sense, you could say it never will be. I'm sure many people have had this experience of a shrine room taking on more and more of a mood, an atmosphere, which is something more than the forms that are apparent. As more and more people pour their devotion into it, as more and more people align their skillful intention with it, it changes, it enriches. So that
okay, anyway, see again, any center that's run by American or Westerners will be lectured or taught by them, and plus most of the time they charge the fee. Even some Tibetan center in Louisville, Kentucky, because they don't have they support. For my temple, I don't charge anything. Yeah, even some Vietnamese temple now, if they want to do, let's say, funeral service, wedding ceremony, whichever, they may charge too. But for me, I cannot do that for other people because up to now I still have the support from many people. So according to Buddhist tradition, the more you give, the more blessing you have. If you charge people, that means you cut up some kind of your blessing, and that's not the way I'm working on. I'm doing. So don't be surprised if you go to attend some classes and so forth. At first, probably maybe free, but later they may charge. So of course, it's really this way, right? They have to have some of financial support to run the temple, right? Pay for the bills, the utilities, and so forth. But still, it's not easy. It's not easy. Yes?
Yeah, like whenever we do quinceañera, because like traditionally, like in Catholicism, like the quinceañera, you do like a ceremony,
shocked by how much they were charging us for the
Where's that?
ceremony.
What do you say about
He's asking what a quinceañera is.
Oh, a quinceañera? It's like
in where?
it's quinceañera is like a kind of like a not a party. Traditional Indian is like a party, but traditionally it's supposed to be only a ceremony where like you go to like Catholicism. We have a ceremony and you kind of like
It's like a coming into womanhood
Yeah.
type thing for, yeah.
to God, you're kind of from like I'm under your protection and stuff. And when my family's very like religious, and so like we decided to do the ceremony, and like how much money they were asking, I was kind of shocked by how much.
Okay. Back in Louisville, Kentucky, there's this one Catholic cathedral. Usually every year they have what they call dinner banquet, which is what they call 1,000 stars. That means they charge one seat for $1,000. You probably may not know about that, right? So every run different way. So that's why they run the money to support the church.
Yeah, they charge me like
$100.
$400.
And even in these communities too, many Vietnamese temples do the what they call fundraising. For me, I don't like that idea. Yeah, whichever thing I have is different. That's all. That's why you see my temple is so small. That's fine. All right. So again, this center is run by the lay people, even in Bharatwara, China too. And I will show you one more clip about the other center.
So even though it's run by lay people, is there someone that they report to, like a?
Most of the time they have board of trustee.
They have what?
Board of trustee. You understand that?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it. But who sits on the board of trustees? Is it more lay people, or is it like?
More lay people.
More lay people?
Yeah, and they do like the Christian church. Sometimes they give a stipend, or even they have monks to stay there too. But of course, unless the center is run by the monk. I'll show you this one. It is what they call the Karma Park.
Drogie poproti mamy.
A se proprio po fortuna.
You know, these places like cut for the same purpose. And you just, you see somebody that you know they're from somewhere else, you've introduced yourself and you meet them, and immediately there's just this incredible smile and connection there, that we're here for the pure between the languages, because we're all Kadampas and we kind of understand each other, that we're here for the same.
Okay, here you see anything difference? Can you see anything difference? Anything?
Yeah, she wearing a.
This is a nun, right?
Yeah.
Now here again, unless something this is some special event, but most of the time in Maha traditions, even in our tradition, monk and nun is not supposed to sit together with the lay people. No, that's why I want to show you.
Is it like forbidden?
Not forbidden. This is some kind of, you can say that it's not hierarchies, but still, this is some kind of boundary.
Boundaries?
Like social rules.
You can say that.
Not like official rules, but like social rules.
You can say social rules, that's right.
So what is this then, if it's not?
This is the Tibetan traditions. The Chinese tradition, they don't care much about hierarchies. So monks and nuns can mix with the lay people. And it makes me surprised when they went to India. I lived with the Tibetan communities there. And the monks now, and they work together, or they come together at a temple. There's not much hierarchies. But in the ragas and in Vietnamese and Chinese tradition, it's quite different. Monks and nuns cannot sit together with the lay people, especially during the special ceremony, a special event. So, but in the West, it's different, and also in the Tibetan tradition, this is different. So that's why I'm going to show you this. Okay. And this monk, is the head of this Kamapa tradition. It's really famous one. He follows Dharma tradition too, but he doesn't follow him officially. His tradition is belong to Kalupa. So next one is sit at the same thing. Convert that's what convert Prajana tradition. Let's move on number 7. Greg, you want to say anything about the role of mentioned woman in Theravada traditions? Wow,
yeah. So they're actually, at least from the times of the Buddha, Buddha kind of taught that would kind of view women as equal to men in the sense that both can become fully ordained monks. And instead of like there are 2 words for it. It's like the bhikkhus for male and bhikkhunis for female. And he said that he didn't want to achieve nirvana until both laymen and laywomen like kind of brought up into his teachings and followed Dhamma. So basically, women hold very important like roles and functions in Theravada tradition, since Theravada is conservative and kind of is based off of the Buddha.
Angela, right? Are you here? Joseph? David, you want to say that?
I'm working on it.
All right, so here, remember I told you that the nuns' orders in Theravada tradition has been cut off for 1,000 years, more than 1,000 years. You know why, right? Remember why? Why has been cut off for more than 1,000 years? Why? Remember?
I don't remember why, but wasn't it behind the women who helped the Theravada women come back into the nun?
Yeah, but why? Why this order, that's not order has been cut off for more than 1,000 years? Why? Remember? It's not only the yes. It's not only the social hierarchies, but also the problems that remember for the monks in the tradition, they're supposed to go out there for food. Remember that, right? Physically, they have to go out to bed for food.
Oh yeah.
But for the non, this problem is problematic. Why? Yeah.
Right.
They encounter all kinds of difficulties there, right? If you live on the campus or at night, for you lady, you have to be careful. But for men, we don't pay attention much, right? So that's a problem there. That's why it has been cut off for 1,000 years. It could not be.
I forgot to cut it off.
Yes.
Wasn't it also the Buddhist mother / aunt / whenever she wanted to become she cut off her hair to represent that she was going to follow him?
No, that's only one part. This is not much important. The important thing is they encounter all kinds of difficulties on the roads. And even during Buddha times, some nuns were raped too. Not talking about here nowadays, because back then this is in the rural area, in the forest, in the mountain, where it's still dangerous for the nuns to cultivate themselves. So that's why it is that kind of difficulties occur. Alright, so let me go over this one and show you the later on. Jessica right here. Hank, you want to say something about the nun woman in higher traditions?
I have that.
Have you met any nuns before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you spoke to them? You spoke with them before?
Some, yeah, but not like a really long.
Okay. How about you? You spoke with them? You don't know much about them? How about, you go to temple frequently, right? You talk with them?
Yeah.
You know their lifestyle? The nun lifestyle? Not much?
Not much.
Really? Okay. How about Tiffany, Stephanie? you talked with some nuns before?
Yes.
You know their lifestyle? Is difficulties for them to become a nuns, or have?
I mean, I don't really talk to them about like that kind of stuff. We just talk about like random things.
And again, for the nun, for Buddhist nun in the Maha tradition, again, here in Houston, we have probably some nunneries that run by the nuns independently, and they have bigger temple than mine. Like we have Big Hong, right? Some of you went there too, right? It's much bigger than mine, right? And so that's an independency they have there to run their own temple. Let me show you this one. Let's move on. Krishna, you want to say something? Krishna here? Let's move on this one before I come back. Blake, you want to say something about the function, the role and function of woman in the Vajrayana traditions? Please continue. And you want to say something?
Yeah. So when we first started discussing just the basics of Buddhism, we feel that women were really considered and accounted for, especially in like the Zen community and everything. But as far as the specific tradition, they're kind of thought of pretty highly as far as the energy that they give and the energy that they give along with the energy from men. There's specific goddesses, I believe. There's specific goddesses that are discussed in the book. And their main role is of wisdom and making sure that the attachments that humans tend to create are ceased and stuff. That was my main song.
So again, please remember. All right, we have the Rama, right? Mahayana. Vajrayana. Alright, so in Theravada again, the nun order is so limited, right, with their roles. And even in Burma, if you are lady, if you want to become a nun, actually we just take only 8 pieces. It is not fully oriented nuns. But in Sri Lanka, in Thailand, they accept now, but they still fighting. But in Maha tradition, it's quite different again. Like in the recent Chinese tradition, like I told you, nuns function the same ways as the monks. They have their own, they can run their own temple, monastery independently. And again, Vajrayana is more literal too. Right? We saw some video clips, right, about the nuns. They can do the ceremony and become Tara, or whichever deity and so forth. Also, we have to understand this too. These 3 traditions. Let me show you short clips about their structures in Thailand.
Cannot say whether it is legal or not legal. We are doing it according to the teaching of the Buddha. But Thai Sangha had come forth with an order as way back as 1928, forbidding the monks to give ordination to women.
Okay, let me stop one more time and ask you, why do we cut like monks and why do we cut off the hair? Why? What's the significance in her? Attachment. Yeah, that's right. The hair is like all kind of attachment in what you call limitless affliction, mental affliction. That's why we cut off the hair. And you don't need to, if you're monks now, you don't need to make up your hair. You don't need to cut your hair every week or every month.
Every morning I was putting on makeup and suddenly I thought, oh, how long do I have to do this? And that's enough. So enough is enough. Now, but life still goes on. How am I to spend my life meaningfully after giving up the lay life? So that's why I chose to be ordained.
They shape their eyebrows too. But not
the women tend to think they are of lower birth because, because they cannot be ordained. But once when the women can be ordained themselves, then they realize that this potentiality to be enlightened is accessible to both of us, to both men and women. So as a monastic, I need to give them the correct message that within Buddhism, men and women are treated equally.
In Theravada traditions too, monks are not supposed to dig the earth, not supposed to plant vegetables. They can focus on meditation. And let me show you one last little clips. This is my master temple.
The community's offerings. There is a deep sense of gratitude and responsibility to rectify oneself and cultivate the spiritual path diligently. In order to maintain the atmosphere of the monastery with a focus on looking inwards and personal cultivation, the genders are generally separated throughout the day. The city of 10,000 Buddhas is split into 3 main areas. To the north is the area designated for men, while in the south, the area is primarily for women. The center of the campus is a public area for both men and women. The Buddhist monastic...
So let me go back here.
Venerable Master Xu Yun and Master Hua. This building is only open on special occasions for visitors to pay their respects to teachers of the Dharma.
Yeah, you see here? This is the monk side. The other side is the nun side, and behind is the lay people, the laymen, and the other side is the lay woman. And nowadays, when you go to the church, whether you go to the church, temple, the mosque, who make up the mosque corporation? Ladies, women, everywhere, right? This is this one. Yeah. Okay.
The Buddhist monastic Sangha plays an important role in Buddhism because they represent and embody the Buddhist teachings in their daily lives. As monastics who are supported by the lay community's offerings, there is a deep sense of gratitude.
And over there.
In addition to all of this, another special holiday celebrated.
Yeah, they have we have boys' school and girls' school. That's why I started to teach there. Anyway, so that's what I'd like to show you today, and good luck on your final.